Hey guys, I'm Cal, that's Matt,
I'm Wiswo and that's Rog.
and we're launching our channel with our overview of the Cyberpunk TCG, what we know so far, and the rules.
We normally stream at Cuppa Guys on Twitch. Follow the links down below to find our socials.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what you think of our content. Join us as we delve into the neon dystopian future of Cyberpunk.
Since its conception from Mike Pondsmith's TTRPG in the 80s to the launch of 2077 in late 2020, Cyberpunk has become a gritty staple in the sci-fi genre.
Following the launch of 2077, Edge Runners, and the first DLC Phantom Liberty, CD Projekt Red, now partnered with Nerdco, are now set to launch the official Cyberpunk TCG.
It is worth noting that all of the rules explained in this video are based off of the CDPR Red stream prior to the Kickstarter's launch.
All artwork shown are from the alpha version of the game. These could change, and we'll make another video if it does. Now, let's dive into the rules.
In the Cyberpunk TCG, you're a merc, looking to become Night City's next legend.
Sell cards to get eddies, buy Preem gear, complete gigs to earn rep, recruit legends to aid you, and hire powerful units to sabotage your opponent and steal gigs. Each player constructs a deck of 40 to 50 cards and selects 3 legend cards. These are separate from the main deck and serve as powerful units that will help you as you play and further your deck strategy. These legend units start randomized and face down on the field as eddies. Every card in the top left will have a number value. This represents the amount of eddies required to play the unit.
To the right is the card type. The game has legends, units, gear, and programs which we will cover in order. Underneath is also a card's RAM and colour. The total RAM value of your legends in each colour determines the RAM values of units you can run in your deck. So, if you had 4 RAM in red and 2 RAM in yellow, you could add cards in your deck that correspond with those values. For example, if you wanted to have a yellow card with a RAM value of 4 in your deck, in this case, you would need to swap your legend cards to have 4 yellow RAM.
On the card's art is the card's name and tagline. Underneath the cost value may be a Eurodollar symbol. This shows that the card can be sold for an additional eddy to play higher cost units. Next is the card's subtype. In V's case, she is a merc. Some cards may buff or require you to have certain subtypes. Underneath the card's subtype is its ability, keyword, and rules text box. This is where you'll find the abilities of the card. Effects can be powerful, and for your legends, can serve as a foundational strategy that your deck will follow.
Delamain Cab is a unit, who when played will go to your field to attack your opponent. Unlike legends, these are played from your hand. In Delamain Cab's case, you'll require 4 eddies for you to play. Below to the right is its power. This represents the unit's ability in combat and its effectiveness at stealing gigs. Like legend cards, units can have abilities such as attack triggers that trigger when they attack, play effects that resolve when played, and block effects that allow you to block incoming attacks. Keep in mind that all units come in unable to attack or block the turn they're played, unless a card rule specifies otherwise. It's like summoning sickness in Magic the Gathering. Some cards have passive abilities that don't trigger, but are always active while they're on the field.
Next are gear cards. These are powerful tools and pieces of cyberware your units can use to get the edge in battle. Gear cards will equip to a unit when played, and will apply all effects and abilities. In the case of Kiroshi Optics, it will equip and give the unit on attack look at a face-down legend without revealing it. The number value at the bottom represents a bonus to the equipped unit's power that the gear card gives. This is a static bonus and lasts as long as the gear card is equipped to the unit. In the case of the Kiroshi Optics, the equipped unit will get +1 power boost. Gear cards equip themselves to valid targets, and if the equipped card leaves, all equipped gear follows.
And up last are program cards. These are cards that are played during your turn to give you an immediate advantage. Like the other card types, these also have costs, RAM, subtypes, and abilities. Program cards like legends and gear cards will also have the eddy symbol, meaning they can be revealed and put face down as a new eddy on your field. All program cards are discarded to your trash zone after all effects have been resolved.
Now that we understand card types, we're able to set up a game. Let's go through the field zones and what they are used for. First, we have the deck zone. This is where your main deck will be shuffled and placed as you set up a game. Underneath is the trash zone. This is where used cards and destroyed units go as the game advances. To the far left is the fixer zone. This is where your gig dice are placed. To the top left are the gig zones, which is where your gig dice will move as you complete gigs. We will explain more about gig dice a bit later on.
Below is the legend zone. Your 3 legend cards start randomized and placed face down at the beginning of the game. These function as eddies while they're face down. Next to it is the eddy zone, where you will pitch cards from your hand once a turn to generate more resources. As we mentioned earlier, only cards with the eddy symbol can be sold and used as eddies, and this can be only done once a turn. Last up is the field where your cards will be played. Now let's go over how to set up a game.
Shuffle up and place. Shuffle your deck and place it in the deck zone. Next, you shuffle your legends and place them face down in the legends area. Make sure not to look at them, as they need to be randomized until they are flipped face up during the game. Next, we choose which player goes first. This can be done randomly by using methods like rolling dice or rock paper scissors. Both players begin the game with all legend units spent, and the first player only readies 1 legend during the ready phase.
Next is the draw step. Both players draw a hand of 6 cards from the top of the deck. Both players at this phase get a chance to mulligan if they don't like their opening hand. You do this by shuffling all the cards back to the deck and drawing a fresh 6-card hand. This can only be done once per player, so make sure you consider what's in your hand before you mulligan. Now that you understand the playing field, it's time to start the game. Each player gets turns, starting with the player you determine to go first before.
Before we do anything, we first check our gig area. If you have 6 gigs in there at the start of your turn before phases happen, the game will end with that person winning. First up is the ready phase. During this phase, you do 3 things in the following order. Draw a card from the top of your deck. Roll a gig dice of your choice and put it into your gig zone. You cannot roll the 20-sided dice until it is the last die in your zone. The value of the dice that you roll is your street cred. Certain cards give you powerful effects if you meet the street cred requirement. Then, the player readies all cards in all zones. Note that the player going first can only ready 1 card.
Next is the play phase. In this phase, there are 3 actions you can take during your turn. You can do these in any order, and all of these are optional. Selling for eddies. This is how you add resources to your field to be able to play higher cost cards over the course of the game. This can only be done once per turn for both players. To sell a card, you reveal it from your hand and place it face down in your eddy zone. Remember the eddy symbol on some cards? Only the cards with that symbol can be sold. Once sold, they can be used but are no longer counted as the card it was previously in your hand. These also become readied during the next turn, so don't be scared to use them the turn they're placed. This is an important action that each player will most likely want to do each turn to be able to ramp up their advantage.
The next thing a player can do is pay 2 eddies to call a legend card. Once paid, you choose a random face down legend and turn it face up. Remember, this can only be done once a turn. You can use your face down legends to pay for this, and if the card itself was spent to flip, the card will remain spent. All flip and constant effects will be activated once the legend is turned face up, and legend cards can still be spent as eddies even when face up.
Lastly, you can pay eddies to play cards from your hand. Unlike the 2 previously mentioned, you can do this as many times as you like, as long as you have eddies to spend. Unit cards are placed to the field, gear cards are equipped to valid targets, and programs are resolved and discarded. You can also pay for go solo effects. Legends that go solo are readied and placed on the field even if they were previously spent and can attack the turn they enter. Lastly is the attack step. This is the phase where your units and legends will fight. Remember, unless going solo or another effect states, units that have entered this turn cannot attack. In this phase, you select one at a time each valid card that can attack and choose the target. Your options are to attack your opponent or spent units they control. If you attack your opponent, you have a chance to steal 1 or more gigs in their gig area. To do this, spend the unit by turning them sideways and declare your opponent as the target. Next, your opponent may choose a unit with the blocker keyword. To block, you spend the unit and change the attack target to itself. Treat combat as if the two units are fighting. Your opponent may also spend 2 eddies at this time to flip a legend face up. If they do, all triggered effects are resolved and all static effects are considered active. If the attacking unit goes unblocked and survives, you may steal a gig from your opponent's completed gig pool.
Remember before, when we said that a unit's power determines how many gigs you take? For every 10 power an unblocked unit has, you steal an additional gig. Meaning that if a unit with 10 power hits, you steal 2 gigs. And if your unit has 20 power, you steal 3 completed gigs from your opponent. Your opponent, like before, can choose to spend a blocker to redirect the attack to itself. All abilities for the blocker will happen at this point. Also, like before, the defending player can choose to flip any legends by paying 2 eddies. Lastly, you compare the total power of both units. The card with the higher power wins, and the lesser power unit goes to the trash pile with all gear attached to them. If the power is tied, both units and all gear attached are sent to the trash pile. Now the attack phase is over, the turn will pass to your opponent.
Players will take turns back and forth throughout the game, checking if they meet the gig requirement to win. Remember, before you do anything once it's your turn, check your gigs, and if you have 6 or more, you win. If a player hasn't won the game by your final 20-sided dice gig, the player rolling the d20 takes an extra turn after it's rolled. Once both players have rolled their final gigs and taken their extra turns, if no player has won, you enter overtime. During overtime, if any player reaches 7 active gigs at any point of the turn, that player wins.
Now that we've covered the rules, I'd like to share my honest opinions about the game. Firstly, the art is top tier. The gameplay mechanics feel similar to other card games, meaning that nothing feels too alien. The Eddy system is comparable to Magic the Gathering in the sense that you're adding more resources by using certain cards from your hand. The gear system is, I guess, akin to Flesh and Blood in a way, and the combat and blocker mechanic definitely feels similar to One Piece and Gundam.
This mix of rules is sure to add up to a card game experience that's going to feel different every time you play. Even as the game goes on, the fight to win will just get more and more intense, like you're under attack from max attack.
In my personal opinion, like the One Piece and Gundam TCG, blocker meta is probably going to be a thing in the early development of the game. But I'm hoping that as we get more unique cards and effects, the meta will change along with the ebb and flow of the game.
Actually, Callum, I'm of a different mind. I feel a rushdown strategy will be more prevalent in the early stages of the game, because like you said, there aren't that many unique cards and effects that can bog down such an aggressive strategy.
Thank you all so much for watching today. We've been Cuppa Guys, and this is hopefully the start of something very new and exciting for us.
As we mentioned before, if you like this style of content or want to interact with us live on stream, like, subscribe, and follow those socials we've linked down below.
We've got some potentially exciting content coming up, and we're very excited to play the TCG. I've been Cal, that's Matt.
I'm Wisbo, that's Shrug.
And we hope to see you all in the City of Dreams!
Good morning, Night City!
Johnny Silverhand senses the cards.